Hello and welcome back to the second episode of my Dinky Divination series. This episode, why am I saying episode as if it's a TV show? This video is actually kind of a add-on to the last one. It kind of discusses the same sort of topics, so if you're interested in this then you will probably be interested in the last. And that video in particular was focused around manifestation and my very first introduction to that, my first understanding of that, and how things have changed, how I've learned things along the way. That's nothing to be shameful about. I think we've all got to start somewhere, but it's interesting because I was very clearly manifesting for the purpose of something that I wanted really badly in my life and nothing else. Like, I wasn't doing it for my highest good. I wasn't doing it from a place of believing that it would serve like a really great positive purpose in my life, and that is something we are so highly encouraged to do when asking for anything. Sure, it's good to have specifics and it's good to have a very concrete idea of what we want our lives to look like, but I'm also a very big believer in allowing some room for open-mindedness and a window of allowing the universe and life to work in its mysterious ways, because I feel as much as manifesting works better when you are a lot more specific with your commands, cosmic commands, it also stops us from really figuring out what it is that we want truly beyond that. Like, why is it we want these things? What is the purpose these things are bringing into our lives? And I think if you were to focus on one thing in particular that you believe might bring you one thing, and then when that thing appears in your life and brings you a completely different thing, you are getting what you asked for, but it's not necessarily the reason you asked for it. It's a bit like bringing a certain job role that you really want into your life because it pays well. That might be brought to you, but perhaps you're not happy there. Perhaps you get the pay rise, receive the income, the yearly income that you've always dreamed of, but you are miserable every single day of that job because it's a lot of work. So really, like, what you were desiring for, what you wanted, was a job that you loved every day. You want a job that allows you to be creative every day. You want a job filled with incredible people, and I think that is ultimately the reason why I am against manifesting specific people more so, because the thing is with people, I believe that everyone's going through doing their own things, going on their own pathways, and life is just happening at them and they're dealing with it in the way they are, and sometimes they're in a part of a process that doesn't align with yours, and that's okay. Sometimes they're working on themselves, sometimes they're in a dark place, making them not the best person that can be for you, and by attracting that person and that energy into your life, you're kind of swapping that ability to wish for a soulmate with wanting that person because you believe that they are perfect for you. And really, trying to manifest a soulmate or a twin flame or whatever into your life, if that person's going to be it, then they will come to you anyway. So you may as well ask for like someone who is affectionate and has good ethics and morals and is career driven and all that stuff. Like, you want to really focus, what's behind this person? Why do I want this person so badly? What do they bring? Well, they're really fit for one thing. Well, why don't you ask for someone very attractive to be brought into your life? And I feel like I've discovered this through from my own I was about to say trial and error then, that sounds a bit weird, but my own practices. Like, my very first manifesting was a person, this person who had quite rightly ended the relationship because they didn't want to be with me anymore, and at the time I was bitter, but I think back to it and I'm just like, Ellie man, and when they came back into my life, they made me go back to square one and miserable again, and made me realize, hold on a second, I'm manifesting somebody who doesn't value me, who doesn't see me as I see them. So sure, they will come back into my life, but do I actually want that? No, what I want is somebody like them, or like the way they were. We can't help the people evolve and change. Honestly, my whole kind of mindset on that has completely changed. As much as I adore and want to spend the rest of my life with Adam, if he's going to sit me down one day and be like, Ellie, I don't think I want this anymore, I'm not going to wish for him every single day to come back into my life, because I don't want someone in my life who doesn't want to commit, who doesn't want me. You know, you want this ex back, or you want this friend back that left you because you want to feel wanted, not because you want that friend, because that friend doesn't necessarily want you back in their life. Does this make sense? I say let it be quite a lot. You know, if I grow apart from someone, if I don't vibe with someone anymore, they leave, I let it be. I work on it if I can, if there's like room for that. If there is something we can sort, sure. But you know, if it's one of those cases where someone's a toxic person, or I'm not valued as much as I value them, just walk on and ask for the energy that you do want from people, and you will find those people. We want to be focused on ourselves and what this person or this energy of a job, money, even money. If you want to manifest money, why? You can become a millionaire tomorrow, but some of the most richest people in the world are the most depressed. They don't have a purpose anymore. They don't feel like they're working towards goals anymore. So I might want to manifest money for the purpose of funding what I do. Like, I want to up my kit. I want to make the stuff that I create more higher quality. That's what I want to bring in. That's the reason I want those things. And I clearly didn't learn the first time this had happened to me, because then I did it a second time. But it really is true when people say, be careful what you wish for. Straight after this first boyfriend that didn't work out, I remember being like, I just want to be wanted. It wasn't even that I wanted to be necessarily respected or have the most healthiest relationship. My intention wasn't even there. Now, that's all I care about, literally. I'd rather not be wanted than be wanted and treated like shite. But then I was like, this person doesn't want me, doesn't value me. I mean, they're here in my life. They want me, like, maybe sexually, but I want long term. I want committed. I just want to be wanted, you know. That's all I freaking cared about. So as much as they could stay around, it was killing my mental health and whatnot. So I cut those ties, and it was such a big move. I was so proud of myself. And then I fell into a relationship where I was wanted. I was very much like worshipped upon, and this person like made that very clear, and was maybe necessarily a bit too in the clouds. Like, I wanted so much of a romantic person. I kind of got someone who was not grounded, and came to me in a way that did feel like, okay, this person clearly wants me. Maybe too much. It's more like a smothering kind of love. And I don't want to judge people for what kind of love you like, but sometimes when you're with somebody who feels borderline controlling, like someone who's afraid to lose you every minute, every second of the day, someone who is so far from the ground that they imagine things up, they try and grasp onto anything that they can control because of their own headspace being so like out of control. That's exactly what I got back. And hey, careful what you wish for, because although that aspect was great, it meant other things lacked. And yes, much more healthy and positive energy you're transmitting will be found by the exact energy that you want, because energy is mirrored. I'm not going to go into that right now. In a very similar way, another experience that I want to talk about is kind of similar. I tried with this particular manifesting, I tried not to be as specific. You know, I gave the universe room to give me what I needed. When you ask for things, you always have to finish the cosmic request with this or something more. If that exact thing isn't going to come to you, something better is, right? And I try to allow that a little bit. But something I've also noticed as well is by asking for something to be attracted to you, to come to you, you are essentially attaching yourself to that person. And I've had it where that has kind of sabotaged me in a way. Like, I've self-sabotaged myself by doing that, because I'm like bonding myself with that person using witchcraft. And sometimes that's not necessarily healthy if time is doing its thing and playing its role. It kind of has to be like a, you know, you heard the expression, right place, wrong timing. I think a lot of people probably watching this video knows a few relationships, even friendships, like they've gotten into where it's felt as though like they're the perfect person, but it's just the way life is panning out and pushes you guys further apart, or not even necessarily further apart, but your timeline is going at different levels. And I always feel like when you meet the person that you're supposed to be with at the right time, it's when you're kind of like, you've hit your own stories in the right place. I mean, I'm looking at La La Land behind me in the poster. They're a good example. They helped each other in that point of their lives when they needed each other the most, and then things just planned out and worked out in a way where things evolved, things changed, like life took them in a way where in a certain place where they were possibly meant for somebody else later on. I mean, we're talking about soulmates here now, and I believe you have a few of those, but that's another video for another time. But I don't think some things can be forced, because some things need time. Like, time is very valuable for so many different reasons. Like, someone could be working on themselves and you don't want to rush like your meeting or how you guys eventually connect if one person isn't like the strongest that they can be for that connection. It shouldn't entirely be forced in your own hands. I just find that really selfish. And I think that also people have the I mean, let's not forget about the power of free will. You don't want to force somebody in when that isn't where their current like intentions are at, or where they want to be focused on in life right now. Sometimes people have other priorities, and that's okay. And why would you want someone who's not ready for that? And that whole like binding thing, like attaching yourself to somebody else, is also something I've noticed with particularly witchcraft stuff. If you're doing spell work and things like that, I think that you're kind of like attaching this, like, see it as like an invisible kind of thread, and you'll find that the presence of somebody would be so much stronger in your mind. Like, you've kind of self-sabotaged yourself because you're putting this bond between you and them, and that's going to make you think about them a lot. It's going to make you concentrate on yourself a lot less, and it's going to feel quite overwhelming that so much of your daily thoughts and so much of this person's importance is like so high, and you're going to see it in everything you do, everything you see. Sometimes it does feel quite obsessive. You're like, whoa, why is all this stuff, why is this so overwhelming? And it's almost like, well, the bond. If you're choosing to focus all your spiritual work on another person rather than yourself, like, you want it to come from you first. Maybe you want to work on your confidence so that you're less likely to struggle initiating something with a person that you really want. Maybe focus more on your own healing so that you can be in a healthier place to initiate something with someone, rather than wanting them to be there for you so they can heal you, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm gonna leave that here. Just my thoughts. I would like to know your own opinion on this. How do you feel about not only manifesting specifics, but manifesting specific people? Because I feel like this is quite a controversial one, because some people think it's great, think it's a very positive thing to do, but I like to see it from a place of like self-reflection before that. Why? What's the why behind this want? Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe to be notified every time I make a brand new video. Let me know any more topic suggestions for this style of content. Anything that you think I should discuss with you guys, let me know. I'm on social media such as Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. I have a TikTok now, and I have a tarot reading Facebook page if you want to join and book a reading today. Bye guys.